Hello, and welcome to another review. My name is Daniel Gibson, and today we are talking Exodus, Gods and Kings. Exodus, Gods and Kings follows Moses and the Exodus of the Israelites. You know, this movie is a biblical interpretation by Hollywood, and I think you should take that right off the bat, realizing that this is not going to be 100% to the Bible spec. They deviate from it in several areas, but with that said, it's no Noah. It's not literally where I couldn't stand it. You know, this movie it follows it semi-closely. Definitely takes some leaps off, but you know, the movie is following Moses, obviously played by Christian Bale. You know, we see this kind of growth and this as Moses becomes, you know, eventually who he is. You know, Moses is this proud general in the Egyptian army, you know, and he doesn't realize he's an Israelite in the movie, and you know, he's kind of this beloved child by the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh's own son Ramses is is basically just kind of like, you know, he's his son, but he doesn't trust him. He doesn't think he'll be a good ruler, and I think that he feels that, and we really see that from Ramses throughout the movie with his own child and stuff, that he just wants to be loved, and he does love Moses, but he also fears Moses, and I think there's a thing early in the movie that you'll see that really points out why he fears Moses, and I think it sets the tone for the movie, of that relationship, that of brothers of a sort, but still fear, because Ramses fears that Moses will overtake him, you know. And I think we see this kind of weird thing, and that Moses never connects with the Israelites in this movie. The movie obviously is the exodus of the Israelites. I mean, I think that's what it is, you know. And I think we see as Moses goes into the city, he doesn't even realize that he goes to where most of the Israelites are kept, and he doesn't really care, and you know, he doesn't care about them physically, and he kind of learns who he is, and even then it doesn't really break him down. He doesn't believe it, you know. And there's just so many things in this movie that just made me feel separated from it. Moses goes into this, and you know, as he becomes the ruler, he's exiled and goes through all these things and this journey, and meets his wife, and this really weird bit that goes on between them that I don't know. It just didn't sit with me. I don't know. I didn't really connect with it at all. But as we see Moses become the leader of the Israelites, what we also see is this just absolute disconnection. You know, God is played in this role as a child, and a creepy child at that, if you ask me. He was a little bit just strange. I kind of get where they were going with it in a way. I think they were depicting him as kind of like baby Jesus. Well, not baby Jesus, but a young Jesus. He's probably an 8-year-old boy or something like that. But it's just the way they use him is very strange, in my opinion. And like I said, I just feel disconnected from it. And God is kind of this vengeful God, which, I mean, God is. God says, you know, he's a jealous God. You know, and I think there's truth to what they're doing. I just feel like they made it really weird and kind of strange. But with that said, back to the movie, back to the story at hand. Moses is leading his family, then he gets called to go out to lead the Israelites, and he goes in there, and Moses is doing his own way, and God's like, that's not good enough. Or this creepy little man-child, whatever you want to call him, says, you're not doing it good enough, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to do it my way. And that's when the plagues come in, and Moses is kind of angry at God and angry with what's going on. He doesn't agree with it, and you see the devastation and stuff that comes. And you know, you see as Moses just gets kind of bitter and angrier and angrier and angrier. And I think throughout the entire movie, what we see is Moses never embraces God. Moses, I would not call in this movie a man of God. I would say that he is a man used by God. I think the entire movie kind of takes the idea that God just sets things in motion. I think that stuff rolls from it. I don't think it denies that God's doing it. What it does is it removes that power, that our God is so great that if he says, let there be light, there is light. If he says to the sea, part, it parts. And it's dry at the bottom like there was never water there. And God is powerful, and I think in this movie we lose that element of power. And I think it's what Hollywood does in all its movies and its depictions of God, is it loses the intensity that is our great God. You know, and I think as I watched this, that's what I felt. I felt separated from the characters. I felt separated from the situation, because it wasn't, they weren't having the fact that God was the string, he was the string that was holding everything together. You know, and I think it's important that we support things like this. You know, as I said, the movie is it's decent. You know, I think it follows way closer than Noah. It's not a brutal thing to watch. It tries its best, I think, with also pleasing a worldly audience to honor it. And I think it's important we support things like this. And that's really what it comes down to. The movie's not, it's not going to be overly, it's not dirty. There's no sex scenes in it. There is this really weird, you may proceed scene. You'll get it when you watch it. There is not, I don't think there was any cussing. I didn't catch it if there was. I'll check the parental guides, but I haven't seen anything. And then, you know, there is the violence, because there's war scenes that are depicted in it, really one big one. But even then, it's not like some where there's gruesome blood or anything like that. But the action scenes are very well shot. You know, you look at, it's by the director of Gladiator, and it's right on par with that if you've seen that movie, with the level of action, just not the gore. And, you know, then there's the plagues, and those are at times kind of gruesome, and there's some blood and everything that happens in that. But that said, that's really it, and I think that's going to be shown with it because they were kind of gruesome things that happen. But I really feel like this is something we should support as Christians. As Christians, we should go out and support Christian media. You know, like this right here, this is something that not a lot of people are doing, is putting reviews out and Christian content on YouTube. And I think the same sense, Hollywood's giving us a shot. Let's honor it. Let's try to do it so that we can make it better. And I think that's the thing about anything, is to innovate and make it better. So I say go watch this movie. It gets a 5.5 out of 10 on the 5-stone scale on my personal rating there. I think it's a decent movie. You're not going to be blown away. You're not going to just be at the edge of your seat. At the end of it, it gets a little dry, and you're kind of like, okay, let's speed up. But I think at the same time, it's good, worth a see. And just support this movie so that hopefully better things can come down the line later. Let me know if you would like to hear more about it. I'd love to talk more about like the state of what I feel like Christian media is at, and like what is Exodus, Gods and Kings, and Noah, and Left Behind, all these kind of more big budget movies that Hollywood's trying for us, you know, as Christians in our media that we can watch and consume that's honoring to God. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to do something like that. Also, I had a little bit of a hiccup with my computer, so I haven't been able to put reviews out for about a month now. I can go ahead and do a review on Inception and Big Hero 6 and Catching Fire. All three of those I was ready to go, just haven't been able to edit them. It's a little behind. If you'd like to see those, let me know. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next video. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.